So what are your thoughts on what is happening? A lot of people saying that Israel needed to act in the way they have, and it's good that Donald Trump has stepped in because this could sign the beginning of peace from Iran.
Yes, there's been a lot of words used such as peace and stability and de-escalation. And you almost feel like you're living in a different parallel universe from these people, because what we've seen in the past 10 days is a monstrous, unprovoked military assault on Iran by Israel that's now joined by the US, is fully supported by Britain and all of the other Western countries. And this was in a situation where, according to American data themselves, this is from the CIA, only recently said that Iran is at least 3 years away from building any sort of a nuclear weapon, if they even wanted to, which they I don't think they do. Furthermore, the Iranians were negotiating constantly. They've been negotiating this whole time. Even during this assault, the Iranians have been negotiating. They went to Europe to negotiate. They've been trying to reach out to the Americans to negotiate a question of a nuclear deal. Furthermore, just if we turn back the clock, there was in fact a deal that Iran was abiding by, which was ripped up by Donald Trump in his previous administration. What is happening here is a gamble by Trump and Netanyahu and their supporters in Western governments, which is risking the stability of the entire region and of the world economy. You know, you talk about the Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is not a small thing. It's 20% of the world's oil exports go through that strait. That could have a significant impact on the world economy. Talking about the assault that Israel has carried out on all over this region in the past 2 years. It's leveled Gaza, is attacked Lebanon, it's attacked Syria, it's attacked Yemen, it's threatened every single regime in the region with military action and force. And yet Iran is somehow portrayed as a source of instability and asked to de-escalate. What are they supposed to de-escalate from? It's American
Hamid, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, no. I did hear what you're saying and everything, but you're talking about a monstrous assault. What about the monstrous assault from Iran onto Israel? Remember that 180 ballistic missiles? And what about the monstrous assault to Israel through all Iran's proxies over the years? So Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, you know these are proxies, right? So you do know that, it's well known. Or am I making that up? Are we totally wrong?
There is no comparison. Listen, in Gaza, tens of thousands of people have been killed.
No, hold on. I hear that. No. Can you answer my question? Because you talked about monstrous assault. You can, because we've got time. We can talk all about this. But I'm asking you about the monstrous assault from Iran to Israel and the monstrous assault that has been continuing. No, I'm asking. Hold on, let me finish.
After having been attacked.
Let me finish, and then you can speak. We'll do it in turns, because otherwise people on radio won't be able to understand what we're saying. So if you talk over me, then we won't have the conversation that I'd like to have with you. So what about the proxies that have been for years attacking Israel, and also the monstrous assault on Israel, 180 ballistic missiles? Remember, Israel is 75 times smaller than Iran. What about all of that?
What was the context of the 180 ballistic missiles?
Sorry?
What was the context of, was that just out of the blue, Iran fired 180 ballistic missiles on Israel?
Well, look, they've been firing at Israel through their proxies over the last how many years? So I'm pointing out that. Have you forgotten that assault where America stepped in and all the countries around Israel stepped in to protect Israel from this attack?
Let's say Iran came to Britain and killed the prime minister.
No, let's stick with facts.
Several high-positioned ministers.
Let's stick with facts. Let's stick with what's going on. No hypotheticals. Hypotheticals really, you know, we could go anywhere with that.
You actually don't allow me to finish, but you.
No, because we're going on a hypothetical now. I'm saying stick with the facts.
No, the point is Israel has been the aggressor throughout. For 80 years, they've been attacking the Palestinians. For decades, they invaded Lebanon. How many countries have Iran invaded? How many countries has Israel invaded? Israel is a continuously expansionist imperialist force, which is expanding into every country in its environments. And so, no, I don't think Iran is the aggressor here. You have American imperialism and British imperialism. They invaded Iraq. They invaded Afghanistan, leading to the deaths of more than, some people say, more than 1.5 million people. The attacks and wars against Lebanon, the attacks against the Palestinians, the sabotage and the infiltration and interventions in Syria. I am not a defendant of the Iranian regime. I'm not a defendant of it. I'm a communist. I have nothing to do with the Iranian regime. But the biggest source of death and destruction, and the only ones who have invaded, who have attacked, who have murdered and assassinated, is American imperialism in Israel. And that is what this is about. This is not about Iran's nuclear weapons. Israel is the only power in the region with nuclear weapons. And that is why, that's what they don't want to change. They want a situation where they can attack, bully, kill, assassinate, bomb anyone, anywhere, anytime without being opposed. And Iran is an obstacle to that because they wouldn't necessarily let that happen. And that's why all of this is happening.
This is, do you know what? It sounds like a selective memory. Come on, be honest. Hamas have been, they have been firing bombs over Israel even before October the 7th, as you know, which is why Israel had the Iron Dome. My problem is this. We can continue to go back and back and back and try and say who started what and who did this and who did that. So I'm living in current day. I'm looking at October the 7th, and I'm looking at that brutal massacre, and I'm looking at what response Israel gave. And then I'm now seeing that this is escalating, and I'm seeing Iran as behind a lot of the aggressors towards Israel. And that's what a lot of people are seeing. So do we really want a regime like that to have nuclear weapons? Listen, that is the question. Hamid, we're going to do this again. It's only for time reasons. I have to end it. I'll give you 10 seconds to respond.
According to Israeli officials, Iran had nothing to do with the October 7th attack. Since then, Israel has ruined the lives of millions of people through their military assaults. That is the aggressor here. That is the actual facts on the ground.
OK, well, we'll agree to differ on this one, but Hamas, I'm sorry, I called you Hamas then. Hamid Alizadeh, thank you so much. He's a leading member of the Revolutionary Communist International Party.